think we're live. Just checking the stream. I think we're good. I think we're good. Sorry, we're a few minutes late again. Um, I mean, we have to look good. We have to look presentable. Um, okay. So let me do a few things here on my end before I begin. I am just making sure I am just making sure everything looks good on my end before I start. Okay, I think we're good. Great. Well, welcome back for those watching live or watching the recording. Um, Let me change my screen. So, just a recap of where we started. We talked about some motivation on like other people using AI tools to build stuff. We talked about this father who did a very dad thing and used a robot to determine which clothes his daughter has, which clothes belongs to which kid, as opposed to just memorizing it. Very cool, high tech way, very dad. Um, Pros and cons of like different tools, and how like these coding tools are different from just regular chatbots. Figuring out like what are like the big buckets of things that you can build either for yourself or for your business, or maybe you want to actually start a company around the software you're thinking about. Then we dived more into that third option and talked about like, okay, if you're building an app for other people, like what are kind of the what's like the we kind of used a analogy of a house, because with a house, like, you need a foundation, you need the framing, you need the plumbing, you need the drywall. What are like the synonyms to that um, with um, one second, it seems like my mic is too low. Let me try to fix that. Um, that's Chrome, properties, default. Hello, hello. I think that should be better. Yeah, I don't know what it was set on to before. Um, so just starting again, if you didn't hear me, um, started off with motivation, dad using AI to build a piece of software. Probably he didn't really need to, but probably he thought it was like a good fun weekend project to do. Um, what are the big buckets that you can build, either for yourself, for your business, or like you want to do a startup software as a business. And then we talked about like kind of like the big pillars of like making a good app, just like making a good house. So we kind of try to use this house analogy to maybe limited or good success. And we kind of landed on um, when you're building an app and you think you really want to like you think it might be like a viable business. We talked about like some of the terminology and like kind of the certain skill sets that you need to build out an app. So for today, I was going back and forth on doing another lecture, but I don't know, maybe I should have started this from the beginning. But I think I kind of just want to try building something, use one of these tools that we talked about, um, and then just see what it does. So this will be half like a demo, like so you could see like how you can use like these AI tools, but then also be like my live reaction as like an engineer going through one of these tools. So I think we tried on the first live to do it. We were originally trying to I was trying to see if I could do a landing page um, for a grass cutting business, just like making something up. But I think I actually want to try something that I wanted to build a while ago, but I just didn't have enough time as an engineer, time to build it. But then also, I always think about maintaining something that you build, because if you build an app, it's not just like the cost and trials and tribulations to just trying to get it to market, but also you have to maintain it, like either like fixing bugs or issues, or um, dealing with people complaining, and coming out with new features, most importantly, right? So I didn't really have time, but I kind of want to try to do it with an AI tool, and we can see how we get. So Lovable is like one of the big ones. I think they're like the most fast, um, the one of the fast growing companies, one of these AI tools. So like I want to try it out, see what the all the buzz is about. I've never used this, so this will be a very, very live reaction, very raw reaction from an engineer. Um, so I think last time we got hung up on. Give me 1 second. The stream paused on my side, so I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, I think I'm back. So let me fix a couple things. I'm trying to see the chat to limited to no success. So I'm gonna just close this, open it again. Is my audio good? I don't know how old these messages are. There's no timestamps, which is unfortunate. Um, I don't know why my mic is. It's still low. Um, I don't know. Filters. We're gonna do some live gain. Um, is that? Oh, that might be a little too much gain. A little too much gain. Um, I am wondering why I didn't have this problem before. Let's reduce the gain a little bit. So that should be good. That should be good. Um, Hearing from the back room. Okay, so I'll put it back to where it was. I'm just scared to put it up too high. But I'll be quiet. Because sometimes I'll just pray that I don't laugh at something that's funny. What the AI does. But that should be good unless there's something on the stream side that is messing up. Um, so, okay. So we're going to continue. Maybe we can fix it in post. Um, okay. So, yeah, I'm going to try this tool. Very popular, fast growing company. It says you can create apps and websites, but looking into it, it might not build the app that you're thinking about, or in the way that I'm thinking about, at least from what I've looked up online. But we'll try it out. So it says here that we need to sign up. So what I'm gonna do is move this to another window. Let me make sure Yeah, move this to another window to do the sign in. I'm actually kind of interested on how this works out, because I've heard really great things. Um, um, so now it's asking me to verify my email, fun stuff. So we have to go to, I need to find my email. It has to be somewhere. It has to be somewhere. I'm gonna just try to do it on my phone because I know I have it on my phone. So we're gonna hit that, hit this, all of that. We're verified. And then, okay. So now that we're verified, we're gonna say I verified my email. And then we're gonna keep, man, so much setup. It's asking for my name. I just wanna make sure all the, okay, I think we should be good. So I'm gonna move this back. Back to this, make sure we're here. So it just asked me to, well, if I want light mode or dark mode and what my name is. And now it's asking me for my role. I'm gonna say founder because we're trying to build a new website and just assume that we don't know how many people are working with us. We're just gonna say by ourselves. I've lost myself on the YouTubes. Let me try it again. Okay. So now we're back to where we were. Now we have all this stuff on the left, which is pretty familiar to me using ChatGPT. So we'll just try to see. See, they have some templates, which is nice. That's like one of the benefits of these coding tools is you can already start from something that is already like designed and beautiful and like build off of that. So I don't know if any of these. So there's some landing page websites, which is what I was trying to do before. E-commerce. These are nothing that I want. So what I'm trying to do is build a booking site for, barbers and hairstylists, like people who do hair. Because that has been like a big pain point that my barber and my hairstylist, they both complain about the platforms they have. So I hit browse all and I see nothing new, which is unfortunate. So how do I go back? So we go to home. Okay. So we're gonna say, oh, there's also, okay, let's go. There's plan mode. I'm gonna put it in plan mode. I don't know if I want to like go into it, but a lot of the times people get frustrated with AI tools because, maybe they'll say a couple sentences and then it'll just build something. It might build the wrong thing. It might build something completely different. It might have done a bunch of other things. Plan mode is essentially like, hey, here's my idea. And then before it actually starts building it, it'll give you an actual plan, kind of like a blueprint for a house, like when we were using that house analogy last time. So I like always using plan mode before just jumping straight into something unless it's like really simple. But because we're literally trying to build a website that's like interactive, it's not just like a landing page where it's just a bunch of image and text. Like I want to actually book appointments and maybe do payments. Like maybe it can do that. We can see. So plan mode will at least let you say like, hey, here's my idea, and then it'll come out with what it's trying to do before it actually does it, and you're sitting there for like maybe 20-30 minutes while it's building, and then you try to use it and it's garbage. Seems like we could also attach designs, um, which would be good. Other files, maybe we have some inspiration, and some connectors. Okay. So there's that. I'm also going to use mic mode as opposed to typing it out because I feel like typing it out, I'm just a lazy typer. I am just a lazy typer. So I'm going to try to speak it and then hopefully it'll get everything that I want. And I've never done this before either, like speaking to the AI. Usually I type to the AI. So this is all going to be new. But I feel like most people will be comfortable just to like ramble about your idea. So I'm going to try to do that. So it's going to be new for everyone. Oh, I need to allow it to use my microphone. I want to build a booking site for barbers and other hairstylists or hair professionals to be able to have customers land on their page, find the service that they want, book it, have it integrate into my Google Calendar, and then also handle storing payments for no-shows. And then after the customer leaves, have the payment go through their saved credit card. Okay. So there's probably more I could have said there. Oh, and then it just puts everything in there, even the ums. I would kind of want the ums out. All this money. But let's see. Let's just let it ride and see what it builds. So yeah. So sometimes these models take a long time. So maybe you would want to enable notifications, but we're not going to worry about that. No, I was probably covering it a little bit. So it thinks. Also, what's really great about plan modes and these different AIs, all these different AI coding tools has like a plan mode, because it's got very like kind of the flow is, you come up with your idea. I don't know what this is, but let me finish. You come up with your idea, you plan with the AI, and you should be going back and forth on the plan. And then when you finish the plan, you execute, and then you kind of review what it's doing, and then you go back and forth. And maybe you go back and plan again. It's like, okay, I actually don't like this. Let's do V2. And you kind of iterate that way. So I can go into more on like what the actual workflow for using these AI tools more in depth, but that's like the high level. So here's like all the features of Lovable Cloud. So it says like, oh yeah, we'll build you everything. And then this is the other thing that's like with a website is like you have to, once you build your website, you have to publish it. I'm gonna pause this. You have to publish it. You have to buy like domains, which is like essentially like the street address if we're using the house analogy. So a domain is your street address. So it'll help you with that, which is really good. Yeah, you can edit the details just like on the website as opposed to just going through code. That's really nice. You can go back if you make a mistake, or you could edit a message. That's cool. And then also if you're doing like maybe you're selling clothes or something like that, you can use Shopify to integrate like the actually the back and forth of like what's in your inventory and actually purchasing stuff. Um, uh, you could edit the code directly, but I feel like that's for more advanced people. And then you get analytics, which is always good, so you can see how many people are coming to your website. Um, and then there's like more preferences. So that's cool. Um, I want to dismiss this, and then this share button overlaps with my name, which is kind of weird. This is supposed to be a super powered company. So let's look on the left. Is this a booking site for a single barber or stylist, or should it support multiple professionals like a barbershop with several barbers? That is actually a very good question that I didn't think about. And then again, this is one of the benefits of plan mode is it'll take your initial idea that might be missing some gaps, and for it to build something, um, it has to ask you some follow-up questions, which is great. So I will say it's rough that it makes you select an answer because I wanted to white label it, but maybe we'll just go with the regular flow. Oh yeah, there is a other option. Oh, wait, so maybe we can go back. Can we scroll this? I guess it's for... So yeah, maybe we can... This is very... very ambitious doing a platform right off the bat. So we'll just do a single barber. And again, like now, like with these tools, like coding is cheap. So, I mean, maybe we go back and maybe we want to make this an actual platform. But let's focus on a single person. How should the no-show payment flow work? Capture card details at the booking, only charge if they no-show. This is a good question. Charge partial deposit at booking, charge remainder after service. Let's do this one. How do barbers manage their services and availability? Let's do a dashboard. Barber clicks a button in their dashboard to charge the saved card, auto charge after appointment. Let's do both. In this booking site for a single barber stylist, or should it support multiple furnished like a barbershop with several barbers? Oh no, this is just reviewing. Okay, so we wanted to go single professional, authorize the card up front, have a simple dashboard, on the other side, so you could manage your services and stuff. And then for the post service, like you could manually trigger it, or it'll auto build. And now it's asking to do a team. Like maybe if I was doing this for real, maybe I would invite my barber and then my stylist to help build this with me, but I'm going to skip for now. So then now it's generating a plan. So now it's not building the thing. It is still just planning. So this is again like the benefit of, instead of like, oh, I have an idea, let me just put it into a tool and have it spit out something. It might spit out something pretty decent. It tries to make good guesses. But it might not be exactly what you want. Like imagine if we did this and those questions that it came up with, it just like picked an answer for us. Maybe it would have picked all the same answers that we would have picked. But maybe, some of these options had like another option. Maybe we wanted something a little bit different. So now we're reviewing. So then now this is what a plan looks like. It's just text. It's just like a little document. And it's not even really that long. So a sleek mobile first, which meaning that this will be a website, but you could use it on your phone pretty well. Which is, I think is like the most ideal thing when you're starting to like prove out an idea is like a website. You can put it on the computer, on your tablet, on your phone. And as long as it is not, You know, I feel like everyone has like maybe like one website they try to use on their phone and it was just like very rough. As long as it's nice to use on their phone, that might be like a good start as opposed to having a website, having an Android app, having an Apple app, and having it be having to maintain all those things. Customers land on the page, pick a service, choose a time slot, save their card for no-show protection, and confirm. The barber gets an admin dashboard to manage services, availability, and charge customers post-service. Great. Exactly what we want. So then this is where, with the design, like how do we want the layout to be? This is where like we could add our own input, which again, we wouldn't have gotten to do if we just went straight into just building the thing. Is like, oh, okay, like actually, I want it to have like a different color platelet. So a color platelet is just like the series of colors that it's going to use for everything. So I'm not a designer. I don't know what obsidian black is from. What obsidian black is from cool gray, burnished gold, accent. I don't know. We'll just have to see what it looks like. The different fonts, the layout. Yeah. So at least it gives you something where it's like, okay, maybe when we build it and we look back on it, it's like, hey, actually I want to use a different color platelet. Customer booking flow. So how will the customers go into it? So this kind of goes into what we talked about last time. Just try to connect everything. Now we're talking about usability. It's like, can users actually use this thing? So the mobile first, the actual flow, that's all usability stuff. Obviously, this is like very feasible. Like there's booking sites everywhere. It's viable. We could figure out like how we would make money. Right now, I don't really worry about making money with this. And the value's there. Is like, you know, a lot of these bigger platforms, they treat like a lot of like small business owners as like small fish. So they might not really care about their complaints or anything. If you have your own platform, you're the CEO, you're the boss. So that is the benefit. Service selection, clean white card showing the service name, price, duration, fade, beard, and trim. Perfect. Gold select button on the card. Awesome. Sticky bottom bar slides up once the service is selected. Review and book. That all sounds good to me. Date and time. Perfect. Throwing up a calendar. Time slot to pick your date. Quick 150 milliseconds. I don't know why it was so specific. Transitions between steps, but I mean that's all good. So it kind of tells you what the transition is. Secure looking at. So for card authorization, secure looking card capture step. Stripe. So Stripe is one of these. You don't want to roll. You never want to roll your own credit card processing, and there's so much encryption and other nonsense. Like, so Stripe is like a very like one of the bigger ones of payment processors is what they're called. So you essentially, instead of you trying to handle it, you just throw up like a Stripe interface, and then they put in all their stuff, and then it just gives you back something that you could use later on. Card is saved, not charged. Yeah, clear messaging, confirmation, a little confirmation screen. It's added to a Google Calendar. I just pick Google. I use Google Calendar. I don't know how else you would have these appointments show up. Maybe there's like some other thing. We could always add on or change this stuff out, but I just pick Google Calendar because then I could sign in with my Google, and then we could see what it looks like. Okay, admin dashboard, login required. You could edit your services, which is great. Set up availability, which is awesome. You can block off specific times, which is dope. You can see a list of upcoming and past appointments, so you don't have to like actually go to your Gmail, but it will be stored there. Each appointment shows the name, the service time, and the payment status. There's a charge button on each completed appointment. Auto charge. Yeah, you could set an auto charge afterwards. What is an API? Where do we see API? Can I command search this? Um, oh, there is an API. Oh, so an API, I always forget the acronym. I think it's application something interface. Um, Application programming interface. I'll see. I got 2 out of 3. I think I got all 3. But it essentially allows you, it's essentially like a contract um, in order to talk to some other application. So with the calendar, Google Calendar API, they essentially say like, hey, if you want to talk to your Google Calendar, this is the contract. This is how you set events, um, cancel events, do various things with your events, and it's just like a standardized like contract. So our website will talk to our Google Calendar through the interface that Google provides. So then it's the user will press a button to book their appointment. It'll hit like our website. Our website will talk to Google and say, hey, I want to create an event named this and with this description and everything else. And then Google will take that and then put it into their, into their servers, into their stuff. So then when you go to your actual Google Calendar, when you log into your email, then you'll see it pop up. So it's kind of like it's just essentially just like a contract on how to talk to it. Good question. Good question. I skipped right over that. List of upcoming appointments. Okay, so this is where we were, which is great. And then, okay, so I think this is actually where we were. So automatic toggle to charge 2 hours afterwards. And you could override it. I think that's a good start. So this is where I feel like not being an engineer will kind of hurt you a little bit. Like words like backend, Supabase, integrations, tables, auth, all this stuff I think we'll just ignore for today. But this is just essentially telling you how it's gonna set up like the infrastructure for your website. So after like the pretty buttons and the designs, like, okay, but how is it gonna handle like logging in people and having people have like accounts? How is it actually gonna handle payments? How is it gonna handle creating Google Calendar events? And there's like storage, which is like the database tables. Like, how is it going to store everything so then, your website doesn't forget, that there's an appointment. Like when you load the website, it actually loads from the database. So all these things that, it's great that they put it out here, but especially if you're not even tech savvy or you don't know how to code, like might not know what these things are. But this might be good to know. So then if you talk to me and I ask you like, well, how's like the infrastructure built? And you could just say, well, it's Supabase with Stripe and this and that. So you could talk about it that way. So it's probably using Supabase for the database, but then also for the login because I use Supabase. Okay, cool. So we could have edited any of this. I'm not gonna bother editing it, but you could edit all of this. You could start over. And again, this is like really good. And this will help you get better results when you actually build the thing. So you could confirm that it's going to build the thing. And again, like we started from like a very like, I just kind of rambled for like a couple seconds. And we got like a pretty decent plan out of this. So we will say approve and then see what it does. So now it's reviewing the project scope and flow components. So then now, once it has a plan, it'll create a series of steps. Now it's asking us how we're going to do our backend. The backend is like the infrastructure, like how we're actually because the website that you see like on your computer is just text and images, but to actually make it do stuff, we call that the back end, and then the front end is like the text and the buttons and everything else. So we could just say use the built-in. Yeah, let's just use all their built-in stuff. It will take away a lot of the complexity of like, when you're actually building a website like manually. So we'll just say allow and then see where we land. It says we only have half a credit left. So we might have to upgrade in order to get this demo off. But we'll see. We'll see what it does. And again, like this is, we haven't even looked at a piece of code. We talked about some coding terms like API and backend and integrations and all that stuff, but we still haven't really looked at any code. And what I'm hoping is it will literally just from just us talking and then to seeing a plan and just editing a plan like it was like a Word document, that it'll just literally build like the most beautiful website. So now you can see that it's editing a bunch of files. All these files are familiar to me, but this is I think it's actually building the website now. So we just have to wait for it to cook. So this is where, maybe you put on a show, maybe you go make a sandwich. I would probably be doing some push-ups or something. And and this is the beauty. Now everybody's a coder. Now with AIs, you kind of just sit here. I wonder if you open this. Okay, so this gives you like a little bit more information if you want to see like behind the scenes of what it's doing, which might be good. Like maybe this is like how like folks will like learn a little bit of coding. It's like, okay, it's editing these files. Maybe you could look up what these like what is index CSS, and you could Google that while it's building and then learn a little bit of coding, or at least like the terminology. And I think that's where, with these AI tools, where things are heading, where it's like you don't actually have to know how to write all the code, but you at least need to know a little bit of the terminology. So when these plans come out and it's telling you like, hey, for the backend, this is what I'm thinking of using, you could at least understand like, okay, are you using like a 2x4 to build my house or a 2x10? And it's like, if you don't know what a 2x4 is, if you're like, well, what is the 2 and what is the 4? Then you're going to have a bad time, just like with a house. Like if you don't know like these kind of concepts. So yeah. So now it built the booking flow, it seems like. And then now it's building the admin panel. So now it's coming out. Look at this. So it ran into an error and it fixed it automatically. Come on, you're a robot. Why are you putting bugs into your own code? Why are you making errors? Like just build it right the first time. So this is great. It's a great first start. A lot of this is hard coded. So let's see what it says on the left. I've built the complete UI for your barber booking site with customer booking flow, 4-step linear flow, service selection, date time picker, customer, and card authorization confirmation screen. Obsidian header. So I guess this is what Obsidian is. I thought it would just be black. Burnished gold accents. Cool. Playfair display headings. I guess that's like a font, like Times New Roman. Like this is Playfair display. Admin dashboard, tabbed interface with appointment services, availability, and billing sections include auto charge toggle and manual charge buttons. So then, and it also says lovable cloud is now enabled, database, auth storage, edge functions, like all this stuff, all coding nerd stuff. Next steps is we'll be connecting Stripe for card authorization and wiring up your database. Cool. So it's gonna ask us for more information. So let's go through, let's select classic haircut, continue. Now we can pick a date time, and it knows what today is. So it's not letting you book in the past, which is great. I wonder how far in the future. Sorry, as an engineer, this is my job. My job isn't to build stuff; it's to see what happens when people try to break it, or think about it. Or I guess that's QA too, quality assurance. Okay, so let's do today at 5:30. I guess that's a good standard time. Details, Alvin, and then sure, we say Alvin makes apps, and then we could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay, so then it didn't this is nice. So I don't want to make a Stripe account, but this is at least demonstrates the vision. So here, like, they could put in the credit card, and again, like, it's secure because it's this other company storing the actual information. So you don't have to worry about it's like, well, what happens if someone hacks my website, and like, you won't have to worry about it, which is again why you don't want to handle. And then it books the appointment, which is dope. An email conference. A confirmation has been sent to your email. This appointment has been also added to your barber's calendar, which is great. Well, I wanted this to expand it and not be so barber centric, but I mean, again, I think maybe in another video we could expand on this. Really, this is just a demo. So now we're in the admin dashboard. Really, this is just a demo of like just how easy it is, right? All we did was create a free account and yapped at it for a little bit, had a plan, approved that plan, and it built it in like 5 seconds. And I think all of this should be public. Or I guess there's a publish button. So then if we actually want people to start using it, I think we obviously need to flesh this out a little bit more. Like, right, we need to add stripes to handle credit cards. But you could see, like, you can easily, right, we haven't seen a lick of code. It mentioned code, but we could just go back and forth with the AI. So here's the appointments. I am wondering okay, so we can add services, edit. This edit button doesn't work. So we might need to fix that. Maybe another time. These edit buttons don't work. That works. Charge 65. These buttons don't work. So I think because we are on the free trial and there's 0 free credits, I think it built as much as it could build with the free credits. So some of these buttons don't work. But you can go back and forth with the AI, be like, hey, this button doesn't work, and then you could figure it out from there. But I think this is a good start, especially for, maybe like 5 seconds of work on our side. This is not bad. And it's definitely, as an engineer, I don't do design. So this looks way better. If I was going to build a booking website, it would just be black and white. So this is like pretty great. But yeah, I kind of wanted to just do this demo, just again, encourage people that, yeah, these tools are out here. And we listed out a bunch of other ones that are very similar. So if we look at these, Claude Code, Codex, and like Cursor, they're more manual, like you will be looking at code. But all these other ones like Lovable, Replit, Bolt, Base 44, there's even more that there's like probably a list somewhere. I would honestly, like, if, it's kind of like trying on clothes, just try everything, especially if it's free, and then see what it does by default. We just picked a bunch of defaults. Um, just try them out. It's all free. And then, worst case, you might waste like, well, how much time do we waste? Like 5 minutes? You might waste like 5 minutes of your time. But again, my number one tip is plan mode. Make sure that there's some type of plan. Make sure it gives you a plan that you can edit. A lot of these tools probably have like a built-in plan feature. A lot of people complain that, hey, I asked it to build this thing, and then they'll kind of do what I just did, where I just yapped for like a little bit, not really that detailed, and then not go back and forth on it on like an actual plan. Then it builds a bunch of stuff, and then it might run out of credits. So then you have to load more credits, and it ends up building the wrong thing, and then you're like, these tools are trash. No, you have to use a tool. It's like using you wouldn't use a hammer to hammer in a screwdriver. So just make sure you know how to use the tool. But I think that's it for today. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll continue this demo tomorrow, or maybe we'll go back to a lecture on like ideas. I'll figure it out. But thank you for joining me, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one.